I'm so excited tonight to be able to kick us off and to be able to introduce Danielle Taylor to you. If any of you are like me, spending the last few days of 2020 thinking through what's the year been like, and the ups and downs and the upside downs that have happened throughout this entire year, what I can say is I've been super grateful about how Zilis has remained that one consistent that is just always high energy. There's always something new happening. The team is always there. And as I just kicked off at the end of the year a team in Spain, I had the conversation with them that, you've now just joined and expanded your family into the tens of thousands of people from around the world. And it's truly a family. And I can't express how much that tone is set by the woman who is going to lead us through this call tonight. I met Danielle 3.5 years when I started in Zilis, and she is a powerhouse of energy. She is a driver. She is consistently a cheerleader and just an amazing mentor to watch and to listen to and to learn from. And she cares so desperately and deeply about this team, this global impact team. And it truly, really is starting to make that global impact. And I am just so excited about the year ahead and the things that are coming from, and just in conversations with her, you can see her energy and it's so contagious. So I hope that you can sit back tonight and take some notes, put the cell phone away, get your room, shut the door to the room, and just get yourself all settled in to hear a lot of great ideas, to catch some enthusiasm, to catch the fire, and just get ready to start dreaming and dreaming big, because I have this feeling that 2020 is going to be huge for every member of this team. It's going to be what you make it. And we can all just watch Danielle and listen to her exciting energy and just drive forward with it. And she's a top income earner. She started in this company right at the beginning. She knows what it's like to take it and run and do something with it and stick to it. And I just couldn't be more proud to be a member of the team. So I can talk about this all night, but I know you all dialed in to listen to her. So please, Danielle, take it away and enjoy the night.
Dani, we can't hear you.
Thank you so much. I wanted to say thank you for all those kind words that she just said. And I want to say thank you for jumping on tonight. I see all of your awesome faces. For those of you that have turned on your cameras, over 113, it looks like, people right now. And it looks so good to just see our team and our family. I can't wait to give you some real meat and potatoes tonight, though, so that you can actually have your dreams come true for 2021. First, I want to share just a quick story, because some of you are brand new and you're just joining, but also there are some of you that I've known since high school. There's some of you that I've known in some of my darker days. I've known some of you in my better days. I've got some of you that have been here in the company since we started. And she was right. We're like a family. And the more you get acquainted with us, the more you'll feel that, because we really do have each other's backs. I have so many fun stories with you. Kathy, I see you, Kathy Shelton. It's good to see you on here. And all across the nation, people from all different walks of life on here. So if you don't know my story, I started out in networking about 2010, and I really didn't have any confidence at all. In fact, I was very insecure. When they had calls like this, where we used to dial in, we didn't even have a Zoom, we didn't have a camera, we didn't have to see anyone, we just had to dial in. And when they'd say, "Welcome to the call, who just joined us?" and they just wanted us to say their name, I hung up, because I was too scared to even say my name. Okay, it was just like my heart would start racing. I'd have anxiety and I'd hang up the phone because I was too insecure to even say my name. And then a little bit of time went by and I started seeing what the industry could do. People that I personally knew went on to make millions of dollars. And I thought, how does that happen? Are you kidding me? You can stay at home with your kids and raise them and be present in their life. You can still make an impact and help people feel better and make unlimited income, have a different lifestyle. Why didn't I know about this before? So I wanted to learn. I started everything I could, listening to books. And I've even gone and paid thousands of dollars to go to gurus and try to figure it out. I've invested in the business, but it wasn't until I really made the decision and got out of my own way and decided I'm going to get coachable. I'm going to quit worrying about what other people think. And I'm just going to do it because I'm ready to take on a new life for our family. And I wanted to, if other people could do it, I wanted to prove to myself that I could do it too. And I don't know how many of you on this call have ever experienced those self-limiting beliefs where you're stuck. You feel like you just can't get out of your head sometimes. But once you realize that all it takes is a decision and you have to take one foot in front of the other and you start busting down those mental barriers, all of a sudden you start to see possibilities. So I'm going to share with you how we went from literally being broke and we were scraping pennies and we were on, my husband and I were on each other's nerves. We were getting on each other's nerves because we didn't have any money and we were broke. We couldn't even take a vacation. I couldn't go to the mall and buy anything new for myself. To even go out to eat was a big deal. We couldn't even afford that because I had decided to be a stay-at-home mom. Okay. And I wanted to be because I wanted to see my child take his first steps and hear his first words and all of those things. And I wanted to be present. So, but it still doesn't make it any easier when you're that broke, right? Life gets a little easier when you have choices. You still have problems. Hey, John, I see you, one of our US vets there. Thank you for serving our country. Several of you on here. So good to see you guys. And we're so honored and grateful for you. So I'm going to jump in. I want to make sure you have pen and paper, have it handy, because you're going to want to take some notes, and I'm going to give you kind of a rough draft, and you're going to expand on it later when you can really pour some thought into it. But for tonight, let me share my screen. All right, we're up to 130 people. Way to go. People looking forward to 2021. All right, so let's go. Let's just jump right in. And I want to start asking you about goals, because nothing becomes specific until it becomes, dynamic until it becomes specific. If you don't have anything to shoot for, you're going to be aimless. You're going to still be stuck on the hamster wheel. You're going to keep going through life feeling frustrated. And we don't want that, right? We want to set some goals that are just a little bit out of reach. They're in striking distance, but they're a little uncomfortable to get there, but yet we don't want to make them so big and so hard that you end up giving up on them. But we also want to make sure that they stretch you out of your comfort zone, because if you don't get out of your comfort zone, you're not going to grow. You have to get somewhere out of that comfort zone. And then you don't want them so easy that it really, actually, it's not even motivating at all. So there's four main areas that people typically want to set for themselves when it comes to goals. And it's usually your health, it's finances for sure, relationships, and maybe spirituality for you. And of course, there's other things, but those are the four categories that you may want to put down on your paper so that you can think about them later. Okay. And I'd like you to think about, how would achieving those things actually improve your life? So if you've been on any calls with me, when I ask the question, someone new will be looking at the business or looking into just understanding it even a little bit more. I'll say, well, what has you intrigued? Tell me first what has you intrigued. We'll go through that conversation. And then I'll say, well, what is it that on the financial side, if you do decide to jump in and decide to join us and start building a business, what would you do with the money? Well, I'd probably, I don't know, pay off some bills. Okay, we need to get a little bit more specific. So I'll ask them a few more questions. So I'm asking you to ask that of yourself. And I also want you to sit down with maybe your significant other and have some really good conversations about this. But we're gonna at least get you to identify what it is for you that makes you feel fulfilled, or things that you actually really need. So health, finances, relationships, spiritual. So if we start talking about that financial goal and they tell me, well, I'd like to retire early. Okay. Do you know what that's going to take? Have you figured out the financial side of that? And let's reverse engineer that now. So let's try to take that back. How's it going to improve your life? Well, I wouldn't have to be worried anymore. I would be able to have more time with my kids. There's all kinds of those reasons. So what is it for you? What's your main goals? Get those identified. And then I want you to take it a step further, and I want you to start thinking about, how does that actually improve your life? Because what happens is, a lot of people, and I've had it happen this week, people are excited about putting 2020 behind us, and they come to me or they send me a message and they say, I've got these great big goals and I love it, but they're so broad that it's just a great idea. It's more like a wish than it is a dream or an actual goal. They're thinking big, which is good, but how are we going to take that back and put it into bite-sized pieces? And how is it really going to improve your life? Some of you have already done this. Some of you are just starting, but a lot of people will say, well, I'm just not fulfilled, or I feel like I don't have any time to myself. I don't feel a sense of security. If something happened to my spouse, I would be up the creek. Or I've heard, it's every one of us on this call has different reasons, but you definitely have to start really putting some pen to paper and process this. You've heard me, if you've been on my trainings, that there's actual neurological science between pen and paper. So I want you to actually physically write them down. Okay. And I like to put Post-it notes. You can do whatever you like, but I have an appointment book. I'll write it in my book. I'll post it in the bathroom, on the mirror. I'll put it beside my bed. I have it beside where I sit and have my coffee in the morning and I read. Also, I like to write. I like to write down and dream on paper a little bit and pretend that some of this has already happened, because there's actual truth in that as well. I'm not going to get into that tonight, but I want you to start really thinking about your mindset around these goals. Okay. So let's just say you told me you wanted to travel. I want to be able to travel. I want to get enough money that I'm not strapped anymore so we can start traveling. Okay, well, let's actually see what that means. Where would you travel? Who would you go with? When do you want to take this trip, or when do you want to start traveling more? Okay, tell me then, how often are you going to start traveling, and how much is that going to actually cost? And sometimes we don't know the exact cost, but you can try to figure up a general idea of the actual, what it's going to cost you. Then we know, okay, well then what is that going to mean that I'm going to need to make monthly so that I could start putting that aside for that travel? Or what does that mean when I want to pay the house off? You really do want to sit down and put the numbers together so that you can actually have the real logistic. I mean, you have to have those actual metrics in front of you so that you know exactly what you have to work for. Okay. But this is the biggest thing. So yes, we're talking about goals, and yes, I want you to write down these categories. And I also want you to think about, close your eyes when you have some time to yourself and say, if I could live my ideal life, if money and time were not an issue, what would that look like? A lot of us have forgotten to dream. I know that was me when I told you I was so insecure in the beginning. I had conditioned myself to say, well, you know, I've got good health. Try to mute your line, please. I'd say, oh, I've got good health, and, you know, we have a lot to be grateful for. And yes, that's true. But I had gotten so used to thinking, well, this is just the way it is, and I better be grateful because, and I do believe in gratitude. But we've all at some point in our life decided that this is our life, and we've put our dreams up on a shelf to forget about them. You know why? Because when we were younger and we used to dream big, and then we get older, and if I had my whiteboard right now, I'd draw it out. We have these great big dreams, but we have this income circle. And instead of expanding the income circle to match the dreams, we actually shrink the dreams to match our income. But if you remember when you were young and you had all these dreams and you didn't realize or know the difference, you had huge dreams, right? And then all of a sudden you feel like this is the way it is and you're just going to shrink this back down. That is not true. And I'm living proof to show you that it's not true. You can have what you want. There's always a way. If there's a will, there's a way. And we have a platform. You're in it right now. You have the means. You have a product that's helping you and helping other people. You just have to make the decision. But you have to know what you want first. So specifically in your business, since we're going to talk business tonight, What kind of business goals do you want? And why? Remember, for me, I love the rank system because I want to feel like I have set a new bar for myself and I've been able to accomplish it. For me, it's an accomplishment. I feel good that I've broken through these limiting beliefs that used to hold me in bondage. So what is it for you? Okay, so it's going to start with belief though, and we definitely want to make sure that you understand this, because everything is going to revolve around this. If you're going to actually hit your goals, you have to start working on your belief, because if you don't believe in your dreams, you don't believe in your business, you don't believe in your product or yourself or your industry or anything. If you don't believe, it's going to show up, because selling or sharing or achieving anything is nothing more than just transfer a belief. Now, some of us don't have the problem, but I know some of us do. And some of us have gotten through different things, but you're still getting blocks. Why? A lot of people are struggling with fear. They're afraid of failure. They're afraid of what people are going to think. They're afraid they're going to bug their friends, right? For me, it was actually, I was afraid of success. I knew what failure felt like. I had failed many times. But I didn't know what does success look like? What does that mean? It's the unknown. It's our human nature. So identify that too, just so that you know where your blind spots are, so that you can actually start to bust through those, but you don't want to spend a lot of time and energy on them. A lot of times people will say, well, what if, especially if it's a business like this, or you're looking down at your goals and you're thinking about your goals, and you start to buy them back and you start to think, I'm scared to dream because what if I fail? And then if I fail at them, then I'm disappointed again. I need to see your faces just for a minute. I'm going to stop this share. Does anyone feel that way? I want to know, like, by a raise of hands. Do you buy your own dreams back? Do you start to listen to that negative voice in your head? Yep, I see a lot of you raising your hands. Absolutely. It's not uncommon, but I'm here to tell you that fear is a liar. It really is. It's what you've chosen to believe. It's a real thing. We actually have fear. There's people that feel scared. I'm definitely, like I said, I'm being vulnerable and honest with you. I have felt the fear, but I've decided to push through it and decided that I'm going to have to feel the fear. If I'm going to get to the other side, I'm going to have to go on and I'm going to have to move through that. Otherwise, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So when I'm talking about fear of success, and I was really scared of succeeding, I didn't know what that looked like. What's going to happen? And again, that was just my own excuse in my head, and I was just scared. So when I finally made the decision that I'm going to do it, and I'm not going to worry about what people think. So let's talk about phone calls. Some of you have heard my story, but I sat at my office desk and I was getting ready to make phone calls to invite people to look at the business. And because that's how I'm going to get to my goals. I've identified my goals, right? I don't want to be broke anymore. I want to take my son to Disneyland. I want to be able to have enough money if he needs help with college, or to be able to support ourselves when we're older and we don't have a lot of retirement. I mean, there's all kinds of goals. How am I going to do that if I'm just thinking about them and not putting action behind it? So when I was sitting there and I was scared to make the phone call, I thought, ugh. And I started listening to my head. This is so hard. No, I was making it hard. And I started thinking, what if they think this? And what if they think that? And I don't want them to think I'm just trying to sell something to them. But then all of a sudden I thought, Danielle, if you handle yourself professionally, who cares what they think? This is actually what I thought. They're not paying your bills. They're not paying your bills, and they're most likely not going to be sitting on the side of your bed when you take your last breath, holding your hand. So why are you sitting here letting them and what their thoughts of you stop you from trying to achieve what you know you want? So just do it. So I got out of my way and I started making the phone calls. It's the same thing when you've set a goal for yourself. Are you going to go for it? Are you going to be relentless with it? Are you going to make that decision? So let's go back to this. Let me share my screen again. Lori, I don't know when I do this. You might be able to back me up on this. I've got it. Okay. So it's going to start with your belief. You have to work on this because fear is real, but you know, you'll hear me say this over and over again. Action kills fear. So when that starts to creep in, I want you to remind yourself of that. Action kills fear. So if I go out and put some action behind this goal and I take one step in front of the other and I don't give up, then small, consistent behaviors will add up to one day you'll look up and it's actually right there in front of you because you didn't stop doing what it was going to take to get to that goal. So let's set some goals for yourself. Do you have a rank goal in the business? I talked to someone, one of those people that Mickey was telling you about from Spain. He's actually living in Switzerland right now, and he's brand new in the business. And he says, my goal is to sell $1 million worth of the product this year. And Mickey, you were like, yes, woohoo, right? But what I loved is he had the conviction in his voice and he has said, I'm going to do everything I can to make it happen. He's already set a goal. He knows what his goal is. He's going to reverse that. He's going to say, how many bottles or how much do I need to sell per month? He's already putting his action plan. He's already putting people in front of us. Getting the next phone call put together. He had 2 calls put together today, and he's just going to keep on and keep on and keeping on inviting people. That is exactly how you have to look at this goal, and you have to listen to what I'm telling you on this belief thing, because belief, like I said, is no more than a transfer, selling or sharing or anything. It's going to come out through your posture, through your tone of voice, everything. So let's jump into what if you're struggling with that, okay? Where are you putting your focus? Are you surrounding yourself with people and places, things, conversations that are aligning with these goals? So you want to stop drinking, right? I'm just throwing something out there. You're not going to go sit at the bar with your friends, right? And watch them drink. You're not going to sit down and if you're trying to lose weight, you don't want to fill the house with a bunch of food so that you say, it keeps calling your name and tempting you, right? You kid it out of your house. What about your environment? What about the people that you're around? Even the music that we listen to, the shows that we watch? You've always heard me say there's no BV and TV, but when you look at your goals and you're struggling, start looking at your environment and start asking yourself, am I putting myself in a place for success, or am I actually putting myself in a place of hindrance? So you are a product of your environment. They say you become the average of your 5 best friends, or you look at their checkbooks and the average of your 5 people their bank accounts. Uh-oh, I thought to myself, first time I heard that, I need to get some new friends. I love my friends. I won't leave them. I still love them, but I better start surrounding myself with people that think bigger, that raise the bar, that the vibration is higher, that we talk about things that would move us forward, not keep us stuck. And then when you do this and you start to realize, wait a minute, okay, so then what can I do? I want you to actually think about what are your superpowers. I actually want you to write it down. What are my superpowers? I'd like you to come up with 3 of your superpowers. And so what's your jam? What do people actually compliment you on? Where do you feel like you're in your element and you've got this thing and you just know because it feels so good to do these things or have this conversation or whatever it is, you start to feel the energy pick up in your body. It's because it's something that is already sewn into you. And I believe that if you put your focus on the things that you're good at, that you will excel way faster than when you're trying to fix the things that are broken. I need you to still be aware of what's broken and try to avoid some of those pitfalls, but I don't want you to put all your focus on trying to change everything overnight, because that will overwhelm you and it's easy to give up. But I want you to put your focus back on developing yourself, strengthening your superpowers, honing in on your superpowers. Think about too, and this is just something that I was, when I was sitting down writing out some of these things and talking to Lori earlier, I said, Man, I could just go off on this. I want to do this big, long training, but for tonight, since we have a special announcement, I'm going to have to rein this in. And she's like, yeah, Dani, because I had all kinds of stuff down. But I was thinking about athletes. And when you have a pro athlete, they get so in the zone when they have set a goal for themselves. And what are they doing? They're up early, they're at the gym. It's not the day of the game, it's all the practicing they did beforehand that got them to that place. So what are you doing day in and day out to work toward that goal? You think you're going to just wake up one day and you're going to hit it because you dreamed about it? No, you have to put the action behind it. And they're relentless. And when who are the best? Who are the people that actually rise to the top? It's the ones that say, no, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go do that. I'm not going to go hang out and party tonight. I'm not going to go to I'm on the vacation right now. I'm going to stay in my zone and I'm going to work my magic here. I'm going to focus on where I can hone in and get better so I can get to the top. And so some of that is discipline, and disciplining your thoughts I have here. Also, if you struggle with belief or your mindset is not there, what are you reading? What are you listening to? I can tell the difference when someone is talking to me and we start having the same conversation over and over, and I think, uh-oh, what are you listening to or what are you reading? Because you may want to up that a little bit. I say 10 minutes because at least for some of us that if we haven't been in that groove, if you get just started with 10 minutes a day, you'll start getting hungrier for it. I actually get up early when the house is still quiet and I get my Audible going and I listen and I've got my little journal out and I start writing, and it's sacred time. And I can tell when I don't have that, even throughout the day, my mindset. But I'm telling you that all of these things that I'm sharing with you is not a rah session. It's legit. If you actually put yourself in a position to win, then you're going to win. You're going to set your sights on these goals, then you're going to reverse engineer them and figure it out. Then you're going to reach out for help, okay? Because here's your action plan. And I have such a good announcement for you guys right after this, so hang with me. You have to decide that 2021 is going to be the best year of your life. You heard me say, if you watched the live video today on Facebook, I think I said the rainbow comes after the storm. I said it somewhere today. The rainbow always comes after the storm. We have all been, who hasn't felt like their whole world has been rocked? And who hasn't felt like they've been in a funk or have been going through some big hardships? But what do we have to look forward to if we stay stuck in that mindset? So I start thinking about what is coming, what can I put my sights on, and guess what? We're already seeing that happen. We put 300 new people in our group this month. Whoop! 300 and 500% growth inside of recruiting. But you have to make a decision, and then you got to go put the effort in, and you have to show up, and no, you're not going to always do everything right, and no, you're going to take falls. I call it failing your way forward, but you're going to pick right back up and get back right down on it, and you're going to look at those goals every single day. And I want you to actually visualize them as though they've already happened. How do they feel? How does it feel when you've already reached the goal? Your limbic brain is so powerful. And if you don't put some sort of emotion behind the goal, it just now becomes an idea again. It's more of a static. You want it to be emotional on some level. So I want you to sit down. If you're, and I'm doing this in general because I want you to think about if you wanted to lose weight, let's use that. I want you to sit with your eyes closed for a minute, and I want you to think about, what does it feel like to be at your ideal size? Do you feel more confident? Do you feel more energy? Do you feel like you could play with your kids or your grandkids? What is it? How does it feel? Does it feel like a new you, a new beginning? I mean, feel it. And then I want you to believe it. And the more you start seeing it as though it's already happened, we know this as a fact, actually your subconscious mind will go to work. It doesn't know the difference. So if you tell it with your conscious mind that it's actually happening, it actually goes to work to help you achieve it. It's not fluff. You have to, though, discipline yourself, because every single day, for me, this is me, I have to almost, sometimes depends on the day, but I have to reprogram over and over and over and over again. And I have to catch myself when I say something that is not in positive light of going toward that goal. So you have to decide that 2021 is going to be the best year of your life. You have to stop giving your power away to things that aren't going to serve you, and you have to put your focus on your goals and what you want and how you're going to achieve those, and then make sure that you understand this. When I told you that emotion is part, right, because we have this thing that's called reptile brain and we tend to go back into that mode. If you go back and keep visualizing it, seeing it, and getting involved with that emotion, that helps you pull the trigger on it. And also understand pain or pleasure is what typically people move into action for. Sometimes my greatest success has come after some of my deepest hurts, because I don't want to stay there anymore. It hurts. But I also realize if I just keep swimming in it, I'm going to keep being here. Is it okay? Next year, if we're sitting here at 2021 and we're almost to 2022 and nothing's changed for you, are you okay with that? I'm not. I hope you're not either. But if you're, I'm not saying that we can't find satisfaction and that we shouldn't have times of just enjoying what we've already worked for, what we have. I'm speaking directly to those of you that are on this line that have either forgotten to dream or you need to dream bigger. Maybe you haven't seen what's possible. There is such energy and charge. I have to tell even Kim Cloud's story. She's on here with us tonight. God bless her. She's an amazing human being. I bring her up right now just because I just remember sitting at her kitchen table. She owns a very successful salon. She and her husband are some of the best people on earth. They're salt of the earth people. She tells me, I don't know, I'd like to make money. You know, we all like to make money, but it'd be nice to have a little bit extra, right? And she's bubbly, happy. I'm like, yeah, but what would you do if you started really making money? I don't know. And I said, well, think about it. And then she starts telling me about this property that she and Chris go out to eat at one of their favorite restaurants. And they said, wouldn't that be cool if we could build a building over there and actually have a salon built there? But, you know, that would take a lot more than what we have right now. We're in a good place. It's a good thought. But no, Kim, actually, if that's something you want, you can actually have it. And guess what she did? She went out and kicked butt. You saw on the video, she earned over a six-figure income with Zilis. She made more with Zilis than she did at the full-time salon where she has 52 stylists, and she bought the land and they're building on the land. That's a miracle in itself. And as a coach or as a ambassador, when you start to see that happen, I'm sitting there thinking, I already know it'll happen. If she puts the work in and she believes in it and she goes for it, it's going to happen. I already know it. But when I start hearing people say, I don't know, you know, I'm like, uh-oh, because it's that decision. And if the decision's not there first, then, and the belief, you're going to stumble, you're going to fall. So I'm telling you right now, once you get these goals written out, you've got your little paper beside you, you start writing down, okay, my health, what do I want my health to look like? What do I want my business to look like? Financially, where do we actually need to be? And then how's that going to look? And don't start thinking, oh, it's never going to happen. I'm telling you right now, it will if you put the action in and believe it. And maybe you don't hit the goal right when you think you're going to hit it, but as long as you keep your head down and you keep focused and you keep doing the steps, you're going to do it. I'm living proof. I'm living proof. My goal used to be, oh man, if I could make six figures in a business like this, 80% of women that make a six-figure income do it in a home-based business. And when I heard that, I was like, what? Really? The other 20% are in corporate America? What? They actually taught that and still do at a college here in my hometown, Millikan University. They teach that at Millikan University. I was like, what? Serious? So then all I could think about is, I don't know, if I could get to that mark. I remember this guy asking me, what are your goals? And I said, well, it sounds it sounds like I just want money, but that's not really it. It's the sense of that I did it and I do want the money and I do want to be able to provide and have things that we want and choices and freedom. But I really just want to know that I could do it. 6 figures. Look at all the people that did it. And those are the ladies that you saw in that video right before this started. Those are just some of our 6-figure income earners. They did it because they decided they were going to go for it. They still struggle. We all do. Do not think that once you start hitting certain levels of success that you've arrived. Please always stay a student. Always be coachable. Always look for someone that's achieved something that you want and be willing to listen to what they've done. Don't think you know better if you haven't achieved that yet. Okay? So get a 2021 planner. If you haven't already done so, I went out already and I bought my 2021 planner. It's where now I can start putting actual time blocks. Okay. And I'm going to give you a big tip that I wish I would have put into practice a long time ago. And I had a coach, a mentor from a different business tell me to do this. Now, mind you, I kept getting stuck around the $50,000 a year mark, which was great. Still good money, and I'm not knocking it. But I knew that there were more things, but I just kept getting stuck. And some of it was because I just wouldn't put it on my calendar. You want to have a standing weekly session with maybe your spouse. So let's just say you choose Sundays at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're going to meet on the couch and we're going to sit down and we're going to look at the week ahead. And we're going to talk about what do we need to do first? What are our priorities? We need to get the kids where, we need to spend this time doing what? You know, do you have work? Are you still in a position where you have to divide and conquer and you have to get your housework done, right? You have to do things, you have to make sure there's meals and the grocery shopping. But when are you going to do your business? When are you going to work on your goals? Do you have it scheduled already, or are you just thinking you're going to wing it? Now, sometimes if you're so busy and you're building your business in the nooks and crannies, I agree that this is the perfect opportunity to be able to do that because you have a business that you can actually do that with. You don't have to be picking up a shift somewhere else. You can actually do it from your telephone and your laptop. And all you have to do is fit it in where you're making your phone calls and you're doing your follow-ups and you're making sure that you're staying plugged in. Okay. But you also have to get really good at what are you going to say no to? So if you've got your goals written down, and then you've got another column where you've written everything that you're involved in or everything that you spend your time on, I want you to go and look at those things. And I want you to still have some sort of things that you're doing that will feed your soul and be, enjoyable. But are there any things on this calendar here or on this list that you can knock off for a while? It doesn't have to be permanent. Think about when you have all the time freedom that you want to be able to do whatever you want, whenever you want, with whomever you want. So when you have that opportunity, but what right now can you move off that list? And if you fail to plan to fail. Now, when I say that, I'm not always the best at that. I'm going to be honest. Like I love and admire those people that are so hyper organized. Wow, how do you do that? But I also know myself well enough that if I don't schedule it, don't put it on the calendar, it's not going to happen. So I do that. And I do plan. Sometimes I'll get out of balance. But instead of beating myself up for it, I get back in. I make the next phone call. I say no to certain things. I've had to do it this week. I had to reschedule something that I wanted to do. But nope, I'm not going to do that right now. I have my goals. I have my deadlines and I'm going to do them and I'm going to set my heart to it and I'm going to do it. So what will you say no to? Do you spend too much time on phone calls? Are you spending too much time? And then you realize, oh, I didn't get this done and I didn't get that done. So set the expectations for yourself up front. So I want you to be coachable. I want you to reach out to your upline or someone that is if your line here with us at Zilis, so that you can get some strategic coaching and then be willing to say, okay, tell me what I'm doing right, but will you also tell me where I could get better? And can you share with me, I've just shared, if they share with you what they're doing and you see there's something going on as a coach, you want to share with them, okay, you're doing amazing. You want to always give the credit where the credit's due and edify, but you definitely want to be, you want to care enough to confront on things if you really want your team to succeed. People will actually respect you more for that than they will that if you're just trying to placate them. Okay, so you can have results or you can have excuses, but you cannot have both. So you have to choose. All right, so get your goals down on paper. Take time to do that with your loved ones. If you do have children, you heard this the other night, I talk about this a lot too. Get them involved in your business with you. That doesn't mean they have to do the actual work, but hey, I'm going to be a little bit busy right now and certain days. So what I do, even with my mom, I did this with my mom, my sister, the people that are really close to me. And I said, I don't want to not spend time with you because it's too important to me. Family is so important. So I want to give you undivided time and attention. But if I'm trying too scattered, and it happens a lot when you work from home because people don't think of you as being in an office. They come and go and they're in and out of your room and you're like, whoa, I have to make my phone calls, right? Or the UPS guys ringing the doorbell and you just chaos. You have to be able to get into that zone in your little planning session and also in your jam, right? You have to block out all of those distractions, but I have to have those conversations with those people so they understand I'm not trying to be rude. I don't want you to feel like that you're not important to me. You're so important to me. I want to spend time. So I told my mom while we're home for the holidays, I said, I will have this day and this day completely blocked out on my calendar just for you. I'm not taking a single phone call. We are going to go shopping. We'll do whatever you want to do. But on these days, Mom, I'm not going to be available because I have to get some of these things done. So guess what? She's okay with it because I gave her it up front. And she didn't feel like I was just pushing her off. Your children, what can you do with your children? Can you say, hey, if dad or if mom hits a certain goal by a certain time, then we're going to go on this trip or get them involved in it. What do they want? This is incredibly important. Even if you do not have these people living in your house, but they're people that are close to you, because if you get them on board with you on your goals and your dreams, and you get them, first of all, you're setting the example. And second of all, they're supportive of you and they're not so upset when you're constantly busy. And I don't know about you, but I'm telling you that for a long time, I was so distracted because, and I had that mommy guilt going on because should have been playing. Okay, wait. I'm playing with my son and I'm thinking about this thing I should have been doing over here for work. And I'm like, wait a minute. Now I'm at work and I'm thinking about, man, I should be down there playing with my son. And so it was constantly diluting the process. Once I made up my mind to get my calendar out and schedule it, and now I'm present where I'm present and I'm focused where I'm focused, then I could be way more productive and you don't have all that guilt. So decide what you're going to do, put it on the calendar, start to share it, and then get coachable, ask for help. And then let's talk about the special announcement. Okay. I'm actually going to walk you through something that we are incredibly proud of. We're very excited that we have done. You may have heard this because I've shared it with a few people, but this is so exciting to me. I have been waking up every morning, I mean, early, excited for my feet to hit the floor because of the results that we've gotten out of this. It is such a unique program. So I'm going to share with you the Diamond Academy. The Diamond Academy is exclusive only for our organization. We cannot share this with other people. So when you fill out an application for this, it will ask you for your ID number because we cannot coach other people's teams. But I'm telling you right now, watch and listen to this. And I want to give credit to Lori Sturgill. She's our team executive assistant. Please, everyone, give her a big round of applause, a big Zoom applause. She has been working so hard to help me with this. And I could not be more grateful for her and thankful for her. So this whole program was designed to create ultimate freedom. to empower you, to help you duplicate so that you can scale. If you're not scaling in a business like this, right, and you're just people dependent, you're gonna end up only having so much of you to go around. You have to have a system dependent business to scale. And you want to create that freedom in your life so that you can have the time, you can do the things you want to do, and build a residual income for you and your family. So that if another crisis happens, you're not worried about it because you have enough money coming in on a consistent basis. All right, so how does this work? Number one, the way that this happened, we got so excited because this actually evolved into, it's COVID, we're in the middle of a pandemic, everybody's slowing down, you see people canceling auto ships. I was talking to my stepdaughter tonight, she canceled she had a food program that was coming to the door to help her. She's single and she had to cancel it. A lot of people had to slow down. And I thought, what are we going to do? And as a leader, it's hard to see people struggle. And I said, what if we just put a program together and see what happens? And let's see. So we put this program together. In our first pilot study, I want you to see these people over here on this picture. Let me reduce this down so I can see it. So Dani Taylor's mentoring program results. We did a 90-day analysis. So we took them through a 6-week program. I actually put a post out and it said, looking for 10 people that want to change their lives, that want to learn the steps that I did to get me to where I'm at, that want to be mentored and want to go through this program. And we were blown away. We actually said, send in a video at the time. Let us know why you'd like to be accepted. And I didn't know if we'd even get 10. I really didn't, because everybody was so quiet. And we had all these videos pour in. I said, oh my gosh, how am I going to watch all these? And so Lori and I were going through them. And we figured out, we ended up taking 40 people. We had co-pilots. We had some of their leaders co-piloting with us. And I did 4 different classes, the same modules, but we did 4 different classes. And look at these numbers. Kathy Bullhorst, I just got to meet her in person. 713% is what she grew over a 90-day period through taking this. So we took the month prior, we did through the program, and then we did the month after, and we looked at the numbers, and then we compared to what they had been doing previous. Kathy, Deborah Mays, Chris Reed, Angie Rincon, Leslie Grimes, Sue Moritz, Alessandra Pyro, Steve Singer, Mindy Michaels, Christine Heimbringer, and Tammy Milner all made either doubled their BV or more than doubled their BV. When Lori pulled these numbers together and she called me and she goes, guess what? And I said, what? She goes, listen to this. She said 83% of the 40 people that went through the program actually increased their numbers. What? Really? Yeah. She said, and 27% of them doubled or more than doubled their numbers. What? I'm getting goosebumps. Hair, I don't know if you can see it. My hair's standing on end. I'm saying, are you kidding me? This is so good because people are hungry to feel that sense of connection. Sometimes it gets boring and it gets lonely trying to do this business by yourself, and especially in a pandemic, and everybody's just stuck in the house, right? And she says, yeah, Dani, this is huge. And I said, oh my gosh, Lori, this is amazing. I am so energized and inspired by this. So this is what kicked the whole thing off. Okay, so why would you want to become a mentee? So we've developed the program. We just put our second set. We actually finished it today. And those people will blow you away. The results that they got, we actually just pulled together the leaders that said they wanted to do it. And we had a phenomenal class with all kinds of breakthroughs. So you're going to learn the key habits that I've used to earn a 7-figure income, a strong 7-figure income. And I'm telling you that because I want you to be inspired, not because I'm bragging. And sometimes I'm so humbled by it. I feel embarrassed and I shouldn't be. I should be proud, right? I actually did it. I didn't just go to 6 figures. I went past 7 figures, and you can do the same thing. So I want to teach you exactly what I did. You get to be a part of a community, right? So I just said you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. You get a weekly live coaching with a certified trainer. So we're putting trainers now through the program, and then collapsed timeframes. This is going to speed up your results of getting you those goals that you just wrote down or that you're developing over the next day or two. You're gonna have an actual track to help you not only boost your confidence and improve your skill sets, but actually get those goals actually met. Now, I can't make you do the work. Your trainer can't make you do the work. You have to decide that for yourself. And I have to be very frank and very honest. It's not always easy. If you're looking for easy, you may not want to enroll for the program because it's not always easy. In fact, you're going to feel a little bit stretched through the program. But if you change the mindset up, right? So here's what we came up with. We came up with a score tracker card. I love this thing. It is going to make you millions of dollars because it actually is a blueprint for success. It actually shows you exactly where you're doing well and where you need to work. And it's every single day you can look at these. We've got key mental habits, the key money-making activities, and the plug-in activities. And how we do this, and I'll train you on it, is every week, you pick a certain time of the week. Every week, you look at this and you say, okay, how did I do on this one? And you'll read the first line there. And did you spend at least 10 minutes listening to that book every day? 0, you didn't do it at all. 1, you just barely dabbled with it. 3, you crushed it. So you find your number in there. Did I really crush it this week? Or did I just dabble? Or am I somewhere in between? Or did I not do it at all? So when you do that and we track your numbers, you're going to track them. We're not going to ask you, how many phone calls did you make this week? That's where you get to decide. This is for you. We do want your numbers. So every week when you meet us on the live session, we'll say, okay, we're going to do a roll call. We're going to go through the names. You're just going to unmute for a second and you're going to say 42, 55. And what we're telling you is if you get up to over 50, we then put you on a banner and we recognize you for that because you're doing the activity. You should be excited about that. Your needle's starting to move. And if you get consistent with that, I have no doubt, your numbers will go up. Your goals will start getting met. So the materials are proprietary. We don't want anyone to, if you decide to do this with us, and you have to take the initiative to apply for it. And I can't promise we're going to be able to take everyone. Space is limited. And it's because we're still getting trainers through this and we only have so many hours in a week, okay? But what we're gonna do is we've got 6 videos that you're gonna listen to on your own time. You'll have the scorecard and we'll have some other worksheets. You'll have a private Facebook group. And then every single week you meet with a live trainer so what you do is you listen or watch the video, you take notes on your own time. You then have a self-evaluation that we send you to the topic of that module. And you have to go through that and help answer some questions for yourself. And then you meet us that once a week for that session. And we talk about what went right, but then we want to know, what do you still need help with? Where could you use a little extra coaching? Okay, we're going to also give lots of recognition. And of course, as you complete the program and you graduate the program, you'll be a part of the alumni community membership. We'll do a lot of things with that in the future and have a lot of fun with that. And so it's building relationships. It's certainly going to build your business, but you have to make the decision. Remember, I said it's not going to be easy. Do not mistake that you're thinking it's going to come in and it's going to be overnight. It's not. You're definitely going to have to make the commitment because if you don't, then you're probably not ready for the program because you're not quite there, and we're not going to judge you for that. We want you to feel loved for wherever you're at. We want to meet you where you're at, but we'll have something else for you to do, and we'll just say, stay consistent with these activities over here. But for those of you that want to take it to a whole new level, but you have to be present. I'd like you to be able to be engaged every session. It's not just when you feel like it that week, right? Success will depend though on your whole level of commitment. So it's, like I said, only exclusive for us. This is a quick at a glance. You're going to get all modules. They get released on Fridays in the group. The video gets released. They do expire 1 week from the day we put them out because we want to make sure that you're not procrastinating and trying to cram a bunch at once. We know that you're going to need some spaced repetition to really download the information and be able to utilize it. So there's 6 modules, all your materials here. Here's how you're going to apply. You're going to go to mydiamondacademy.com. You're going to complete the application. We will have to do some sorting this week. We're going to have to look at who comes in, and the trainers will line up some of you with it has to be your own personal upline. Also, I'll be able to visit on some of those, and I'll have some of my own personal group as well. And Also, please, please, please make sure you add Dani@DaniTaylor.com to your email contacts. Go in and actually put it in as a contact. A lot of our emails from Constant Contact, our service that we use, get lost inside of the junk folders and people don't get their email. And so we want to make sure you don't miss out on that. But space is limited. Okay. Now we're 5 minutes to the top of the hour and I don't like to go over an hour on my training. I want to open it just for a second. Let's see, hold on one second. And for those of you that want to hang on afterwards, we have a video that you guys can watch until it ends. And then it's only 5 or 6 minutes of some of the participants that just went through it and what they had to say on their final class. Let's see here. I'm going to stop the share. Does anyone have a question or a comment before we wrap up the hour tonight? Please unmute yourself and come to the line.
I'm going to jump in and just say we are so beyond thankful for you, Dani. This is just incredible. The way you pour into us and your leadership. And I did go through that mentoring program and it was fantastic. And for anyone who's thinking about it, do it because it will change. It will be game changing for you. So thank you, Dani. And Laura.
Thank you, Tammy, for the words. And not to mention, you put some people on the top of that leaderboard and you had some of those people with $100 winners. Go, Tammy. Anyone else?
Hey, Dani, this is Judy Clancy. And I just want to encourage everybody, don't let what she said scare you about that this is going to be hard because you're already on this call. You already want to make a change to your business. So this is the next step to doing that. And we all make mistakes. We're going to love on one another. Dani has given us so many tools that I just highly encourage you and thank you so much for this exceptional leadership. We're so blessed to have this on our team. You'd be silly not to take advantage of it.
It's my complete honor and thank you. She said, don't be scared, but I'm going to tell you, I might
be a little scared.
Who said they're scared?
I said, be a little scared. Becky did.
It's okay. It's okay to be scared and do it anyway. Feel the fear and do it anyway.
So Dani, I want to add that I just went through this and just learning how to change the way I talk, changed it up, and that I have signed on more people this month than I have in the last 6 months. Yes. And it was just, I didn't add more time to my schedule. I just learned from this mentoring class that Dani put together that is amazing. And I implemented how I did my business.
Thank you so much for the kind words. And nothing is better thank you than to see you go out and succeed. You cannot reward a leader more than just to see someone achieve their dreams and to be able to make through those breakthroughs. Oh, I get so excited. So,
Dani, you're amazing. You're amazing. And you have built a wonderful team.
I don't know who that is, but thank you.
That's Becky. It's Becky in Wenatchee, Washington, part of the Tammy Chandra group.
Thank you.
So I need to get out of my own way and be there. So thank you so much for your time. And I've made lots of notes.
You're so welcome. And Kim, thank you. I just saw you give me a quick note. Thank you for the notes. Make sure you put your goals down. Gina, so good to see you. My goodness, I miss my family. I've got family all in the United States.
I'm getting ready to trade in my employer's dreams for my own.
Yeah.
So this timing is perfect.
Yes. Why? Sometimes I used to ask myself, why would I be building someone else's dream instead of my own? Sometimes we get stuck in that rut because we're so scared of change, but I'm not telling anybody to leave their position. Please hear me. I would never recommend that. I would always say, make sure you've got a solid income. You've got yourself diversified. You know, when I say diversified, I mean money working for you, not you working different things. Because if you get too scattered on your focus, you can't chase two rabbits. One's going to get away. Okay. What you want to do is get yourself lasered in. You can still work and run a business, but you can't be trying to do too many things or you will dilute yourself. But I'm saying right now, why would I keep building for someone else when I could be building for my own? Mm-hmm. Anyone else want to say anything or ask a question? Oh, look at all these comments coming in. You guys are so amazing. Thank you guys for all the kind words. Everyone is so supportive on here. And thank you. Pam True says, every morning I listen to positive content. It's a game changer. Pam Kuhn also just went through this program. And let me just tell you, the girl is on fire. She has sponsored more people in this last 6 weeks than ever before. And I keep getting goosebumps because I see it happening. I see their belief. I see them actually starting to go for their dreams where they've been on autopilot or they've been stuck in a rut. And it's because they had actually substance, a structure, something that's already put together that you know that all you have to do is apply yourself. So this is a dream come true for us because I've known for a long time that it's hard. You can't, there's not enough of me to go around. There's not enough of you to go around. How can we do this to where it will scale and feel connected at the same time and get personal? Because sometimes if you're like me, I felt like I was out on an island by myself a lot. But again, some of that was in my head and it was because I wasn't reaching up. I wasn't asking for help. I was just stuck in this mental pattern. And I finally got out of that and I had to decide for myself, I'm not going to stay there. I'm going to ask for help. What am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? What can I do better? And gratitude is everything. You will attract into your life what you're grateful for. You'll attract more of that into your life. So thank you guys for hanging out with us. We've been here for an hour. I'm going to actually jump off. We're going to play a video for those of you that want to stay and listen to the mentees. Make sure if you want to be a part of this next round, and we will have it. We don't know when the next one's going to be. I'm going to try to at least get 4 in for 2021. But you want to jump in and you want to make sure that if spaces, if we get too full, that will put you on a waiting list. Please let us know if you want to be on a waiting list if we don't accept you this time, but we certainly don't want to turn anyone down. So we're going to do our best to see what we can figure out. But go ahead, mydiamondacademy.com, get yourself enrolled, and then we'll start contacting people after we do the sorting process. We'll send you an email. All right.
The enrollment deadline is the 4th.
Thank you, Miss Lori. So it has to be in by the 4th of January, and then we'll start sorting through them that week, right? So the whole week, that next week. Okay. All right. Okay, here goes the video, guys. Love you all.
Thank you, Dani.
Thanks, Dani.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Fist bump.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you so much.
Prior to this mentoring program, I really was on autopilot. You know, so I love what this mentorship program has done because it's allowed me to plug in. I realize that I don't have to feel overwhelmed because we have a system that all I have to do is follow that works.
I got out of my comfort zone and sponsored a couple people in the last couple weeks and had asked for help from an upline, and now I know I can do it. I can succeed.
Beginning of the mentoring group, following through was my big challenge. I was pretty much stuck in a rut. Following the correct way is what has kind of helped me get back on focus. So keeping the focus and the importance of scheduling and the system, plugging in, because I didn't really have that and I need that.
I was stuck and unmotivated and just really kind of getting in my own way. And during the program, I, again, been held accountable, and I need that accountability sometimes when I'm feeling that way. I gained my confidence back, just way more engaged with life as well as with Zilis.
I've learned I need to implement specific times through the week that are non-negotiable.
This is a system that we plug in the right people and let the system work. It works wonderful. So it allows me to put my time where I need to be and my energy and my focus in the activities that I need to be on.
Prior to the mentoring program, I was stuck on focusing on recurring stalls, just getting past those no's, the disappointment of my no's. Now I realize that when I push through the daily action steps, my focus changes and my business has grown.
It systemizes a missing link in a duplicatable growth system. So that systemization was needed for me. I really appreciate that because that's a link that was missing, I believe, to get to the next people.
And before this program, even though being in the industry for so long, I had lost a little focus. I had been lost in a little bit with a plan, and coming to this program has really brought me back to the basics. It's been so nice to get back to simplicity, the basics that I've always known, and that has helped me sort of refocus and restart.
With the guidance and the directions, I have had much more focus and attention, and my actions that I've been putting in have actually been purposeful, and more important, I'm not losing my contacts. I'm actually having the follow-up.
Since joining the program, I've been able to take the tools that Dani has given us and utilize not only the tools, but my time efficiently. I've re-engaged, and just by re-engaging with my team, I've been able to sell way more product than I ever have, and even sponsored a couple of people and have filled a pipeline for the future. So
I was overwhelmed with my time and my energy. But once I plugged into her experience coaching, I came away with a clear vision of tools to help with ranking, with modeling to my team, and with helping people with their health and financial well-being.
This thing I was struggling with was time management and how to use my words. And takeaway was that I learned how to speak different. I will have put on more people than I did in the last 6 months.
I struggled with belief in myself as a leader. And after the program, I can actually start to dream and see myself as a leader and help others build their dreams.
So my biggest hurdle was changing my mindset to be able to do better three-way calls and have better conversations with people that were prospects interested in the business. I signed up 6 people this month, 1 today and 1 tomorrow, and today and tomorrow are big kids.
Given me specific tools for more duplication.
So my biggest struggle was time management and getting out of my own way. And so what I got from this program is that I'm able to streamline my invites and my plans.
I struggled with the definition of my why, meaning me. And what I have found since going through the program is I'm doing the business now for me.
Sharpened my communication skills and helped me teach my team how to duplicate faster.
Before this program, I really struggled with picking up the phone and my invites. What I've learned from this program is 1, how to do it, and 2, that it takes the action.
So I needed confidence before, and I'm stronger than before with consistency and persistence.
I have found that in engaging with the program and the things I've learned, I have increased the ability to interact with my team, and now I am seeing them duplicate like never before.